my name is Julia. Welcome to my channel. Today we are doing another pick a card reading, and today's reading is how you are underestimated. And I just want to say, being underestimated really is a superpower because you end up having the upper hand. So we're going to have 4 piles today. Let me go ahead and show you the piles. Pile 1 with the clear quartz point. Pile 2 with the star rose quartz. Ooh. This is actually a star rose quartz. You can't see the asterism unless I was to shine a flashlight on it, but it is actually a star rose quartz. It's the star rose quartz sphere. Pile 3 is the clear quartz rock crystal. And pile 4, last but not least, the lovely, very beautiful citrine. As per usual, timestamps will be in the description and in the comments. So I will see you guys at the piles. Oh yeah, any information you need about me can be found in the description box. And if you are waiting to hear back from me on an email for a private reading, I will be getting back to you within the next 24 hours. I have a few emails I need to get back to, but I will be getting back to you. So yeah, look forward to seeing you guys in the piles. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the clear quartz point, pile 1, this is your reading. How are you underestimated? So let's get right into it. Okay. The offering, the mystic, the pilgrim in reverse. Wow. Okay, so I'm getting 2 messages right away off of this pile 1. With the offering, there's actually 2 things I'm getting. One, people underestimated the amount of things you were willing to sacrifice to get yourself where you needed to go. And the other thing I'm getting from that is people underestimated you because they thought you would be easier to sacrifice. And that can translate in many ways for many different people in many different ways. So it could be simply that they thought you'd be somebody who would be easy to get rid of in any given situation, or whatever sacrifice means to you. But I definitely am feeling there's something for somebody here, maybe not for everyone, but there's something that was it's a very heavy energy. Something very heavy happened here for someone that was, it seems like even somewhat possibly traumatic, where somebody might have even tried to get rid of you in one way or another. And that's not for everyone. And, I know that's a heavier energy, but that's for somebody. With the mystic and pilgrim in reverse, what I'm getting is people underestimated how much you know. People actually underestimated, a lot of people, I think, just assumed that you were still learning something, or that you were at like an apprentice level, or that you were at a novice, but there's something that you're actually very skilled at and very more masterful, and that you've probably even mastered, something that maybe even you're very adept to. And so people greatly underestimated how knowledgeable and how skilled and advanced you are in some area of your life, if not overall your whole life. And then I have to say, I'm sure I have somebody, or a lot of you have some heavy either Scorpio placements in your big 3, or very concentrated Scorpionic energy in your chart, or you have some heavy 8th house energies, or an extremely heavy Pluto aspect, like Pluto conjunct Sun or Pluto conjunct Moon. Because next we have coming out, we have Scorpion and butterfly in reverse, and butterfly is transformation. That's all Plutonic. So with this Scorpion upright and this butterfly reverse, wow, pile 1, you bad. And I mean that in a good way. People really thought with the offering and the sacrifice, I feel it. People really thought you were somebody who'd be easy to keep down. People really underestimated your ability to get back up. People thought you would be weaker than you are. People really thought that you would be somebody who would be easy prey, and you ended up being the beast, and not in a bad way, but you beasted up on them. It feels to me like people greatly underestimated your power. wow. And I mean in a powerful way. People underestimated your ability to keep going and to actually come back stronger than ever. Okay, so let's keep going. Pile 1. Let's see, Merkaba reverse. You know, and I have to say I'm seeing the journey here, and I think it was something else. I think I remember seeing these cards down. Yeah, okay. So people underestimated your ability to know which way you're going in your life and to redirect the direction of your life. People underestimated your ability to master something. People underestimated your ability to transform a situation and to move in a completely different direction. People underestimated your ability to raise your vibration and frequency to take yourself to a higher timeline. People underestimated your ability to harmonize your life. People underestimated how complex your mind is. People also underestimated the power of your voice and the words that you speak. A lot of people underestimated you because they didn't think you would speak up about something that you did. Amazing. Some of you, and this is a side note for some of you here, I might have some people in this pile who are musicians. I know that won't be for everyone, but for those of you people underestimated the power of your music or your ability to orchestrate something. If not music, they underestimated your ability to orchestrate something, to make something happen. I think people thought you were more somebody who would be, let's just say, since we're saying orchestrate, at an orchestra they thought you would be just somebody in the audience listening. Little did they know you're the one leading the orchestra. It's almost like from behind the scenes, you're the one who's orchestrating how everything went down in a very almost covert and concealed, very powerful spiritual way. It's almost like I'm seeing somebody like, okay, they're going to do this, so I'm going to send this energy this way. And I don't mean energy necessarily like spell work or anything like that, but it could be for somebody. But it's more like you are a chess player, not a checkers player. And I see that greatly here. People also underestimated your ability to be unbothered. People underestimated how unbothered you are. People thought there's a lot of more, that you were going to be a lot more been out of shape over some things that have happened, and that you were able to just let it go and keep moving forward. And they were, I'm hearing, shocked. People underestimated your ability to reclaim your throne, to get back on top, to take your power back. People underestimated your ability to stop the direction you were heading in your life, to stop, take a break, pause, even if that meant you were sacrificing something or giving up something in order to gain enlightenment and know which way to keep moving forward with your life so that you could be heading in the right direction. People underestimated how enlightened you are. People also, now, this is giving a storyline. Okay, side note. This might not be for everyone. There's some kind of a situation I'm seeing here for somebody. This might not be for all of you, where there was some kind of situation that happened with it feels like with a counterpart or a twin flame, a soulmate, where it feels to me people expected you to be expecting to come into union with somebody, or even if this isn't a counterpart or a twin flame, it could simply be a very significant connection in your life. And it feels to me like it's almost like people knew you were expecting this connection to come into union, or to happen, to come together. But it's like almost like some people knew you were expecting it, and it's like it feels like some people somehow knew that it wasn't going to happen. We just had a weird orb go that way. It wasn't a bad one, but it was moving in a different direction than I'm used to. They normally move much faster. Sorry. Okay, so I think that means you're important. Sorry. Okay. Well, of course you're all important. We're all important. But there's something of importance here. Yeah, there's a lot of psychic energy activity I feel in my room right now. It's very intense. Okay, so like I was saying, it feels like there was some kind of very significant connection like I said, this won't be for everyone, but that people knew you were expecting it to happen. And it's almost as if somebody or a group of somebody, it's kind of weird message, but knew it wasn't going to happen, and they were expecting it to have you down. Or it's that they knew that this person you were expecting to come into union with was somebody who was actually having other reckless, we'll say, endeavors or affairs or flings or casual encounters of some kind, and they were expecting it to crush you or break you, maybe even possibly the person you were expecting to come in a union might have been having some kind of even a workplace affair for somebody, but it didn't. They were expecting you to be very crushed, and the fact that you were able, it's almost like it's giving that unbothered energy where I'm sure it affected you, because who wouldn't be affected, you know, unless you're like a complete, like somebody who doesn't feel things, like a sociopath. Of course you're gonna feel things, but people thought it was gonna crush you where you wouldn't be able to heal from it, is what it feels like. But that, and the fact that you were able to continue to redirect your life and move in the right direction, people were really, they underestimated you. They're like, they did not expect that of you. Also, it feels to me like possibly, some people assumed that you were somebody who was more reckless yourself, and that you were somebody maybe who was more got around with a lot of people, and when it might have been even some people approached you because they assumed that about you, and when they found out that wasn't the case, they realized they underestimated you, that you're not that. You're not somebody who gets around, because I'm seeing something here in this card that says reckless love and sex, like it's coming out reverse, so it's telling me people might have expected that of you, but if a couple people might have stepped to you and tried, and come to find out, nope, wrong person. Wrong person. It's not even the wrong place, the wrong time. You got the wrong one today. Right? So yeah. So it's almost giving the feeling like people just underestimate your ability to reclaim your happiness and your authority over your life and your power back. Okay, so let's get down here now. People, ooh, I'm getting multiple messages here. Ooh, yeah, with that scorpionic energy, you guys are, I could tell, hold a lot more power. You guys, people underestimate, the biggest thing I think people underestimate about you, pile one, is the power you hold. The enlightenment you hold, the resilience you hold, but especially the power you hold, because it's feeling like what people thought would crush you, you came back and served it to them, almost like boom, like, and they didn't see it coming. They thought you were going to be down and down for the count, not getting up, and not only did you get back up, but you let them taste their own medicine. And so people underestimate your ability to drop a tower back on them. It's almost like somebody tried to push a tower on you, and they thought it was going to crush you and have you down, but you caught the tower and pushed and threw it on them. They're down bad and can't get up, and they're like, did not see that one coming. Definitely underestimated you. People underestimated your ability to get back up after betrayal, and people underestimated your ability to cut things off for good for the people who did betray you. It feels to me like some people expected you to be very forgiving and to keep taking them back. It's wrong answer, right? People underestimated it feels to me almost like your belief system or your traditions. I feel like people expected you to follow a certain set tradition or a way of doing things that would be considered more traditional, and it's giving the feeling like you pulled like something out of left field, like, whoa, nobody saw that coming, shocked. You know, like people are like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, it's giving me like, I'm getting the feeling of like when somebody gets hit in the face with bricks, like a ton of bricks in him, and he's like, I did not see that coming. There's something about a shock value here where people weren't expecting you to do something because they were expecting you to follow a more traditional path or a certain, you know, expected way of doing something, or it's almost like you have a tradition. Oh, it's like there's a certain way you always do something, and when you did it in an unconventional way, nobody expected that. People underestimate your ability to turn your back and start a new life in a whole different direction. People underestimated your ability. I'm hearing, this is interesting, that's a weird one. Well, it's not weird, actually, it's a good thing. People underestimate your ability to, I'm hearing get out of debt. I don't know if anybody here is in debt or is fully out of debt, but it's something about it's like that you've ascended to a higher timeline and that you're like fixing your life almost, and people weren't expecting you to be able to do that. Nice. People also underestimated just how fair you are. People know that what they get, what the things that happened is what was deserved. I'm hearing that as well. People underestimated how loving you are, but that they also underestimated your ability to be discerning about who you continue to be loving with. People underestimated your ability to bear the burden of taking off in a different direction when this is going with that, almost like that whole counterpart thing up here. It's almost like people, when something didn't begin that was supposed to be very fruitful and very productive and have a lot of beauty and progress, so it seems to be like there was some kind of beginning that was supposed to happen that you didn't get. It's not that something happened, but I'm hearing from Spirit, I just want to put this as a side note, it was never supposed to be that beginning that you were thinking, though. There was something much better, that this was all a part of some kind of, I don't know, skill, test, training. I don't know, it's so weird. What a weird message. I hope I'm making some kind of sense. But for your ability to like pack up and move in a different direction, despite not getting that, and to continue to look for brighter days. Side note, I'm hearing something about, what is this, Gone with the Wind? Scarlett O'Hara? Go where the wind blows? What is this? It's interesting. Sorry. Okay, so people underestimated your ability to fight for yourself and for what's right, and to move in a new direction. People really underestimated the amount of power you hold. Overall, that's what I'm getting here, Pile 1. It's your power. It's your power to transform, your power to know, your power to stop the whole direction of your life and move in a new direction and gain enlightenment. People underestimate you greatly. I see there's a lot of being underestimated here. And this is one of your superpowers. I greatly feel that too, Pile 1. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you'll feel called to like and subscribe. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Star Rose Quartz. I know you can't see the star in this lighting. I'd have to hit it with a flashlight, but it does have an asterism when you hit it with the right light. So the Star Rose Quartz, this is your reading, how you are underestimated. So let's get into it, Pile 2. Okay, so coming out, let's see, the vow and the box. Very interesting. Okay, I'm getting a couple of things here, Pile 2. So, okay, so first I'll start with this one. For some of you, people have underestimated your loyalty, especially in commitments, but I feel it's more than just commitments. I feel it's in relationships and friendships and family that your loyalty has been underestimated. People underestimated how loyal you are. People have also underestimated your ability to do what you say you're going to do, to stay committed to doing what you say you're going to do. People have also underestimated your faith and your loyalty to Spirit. People have underestimated your connection to Spirit. People have also underestimated just your ability to carry through with plans. Oh, the box and trap. Wow. I'm seeing some interesting cards here, Pile 2, and we're going to get into it in just a second. It'll all connect right now because I'm starting to see a storyline, like I'm connecting dots throughout here. There's something really unique that's happened here. Maybe not to all of you, but to a good handful of you at least. People underestimate people have tried to set traps for you that you have gotten out of, and they don't know how. They greatly underestimate your ability to see through things. They greatly underestimate yourself to get out of traps that were set for you, or to avoid traps that were sent for you. People have there's a lot of things they thought that would have you stuck in your mind, or even possibly imprisoned, and that you are able to either see your way around it, or out of it, or through it. And people underestimated you in that way. Let's see, sea serpent and fish in reverse. Ooh. People underestimated you because of your ability to close yourself off and not share how much you know. There's a lot of things you see and know that you don't share, and people, and for that reason you close yourself off to certain things and people, and in that way they underestimate you. People underestimate how much you know. People underestimate your ability to close yourself off emotionally from people who meant you harm. People underestimated your ability to change directions in the dark. And by that I mean to, it's almost like people expected you to follow direction. People, I think, have expected to you to go in a certain way or go the way they do something as you're told to do, and when you didn't do as you were told and you actually went in a completely different direction, that's how they underestimated you. It's like going how they say upstream, or you know what I mean, like you're trying to swim upstream. Like people underestimated your ability to do that, to actually swim upstream, like against the currents or whatever, and to actually make it. People underestimated your ability. Underestimated you because you have the ability to change directions without anybody knowing or seeing which way you're going. Wow. People underestimated your ability to call a spade and to see something for exactly what it is, and to know what something is by looking at it. Great discernment I'm seeing here. Ooh, people underestimated your ability to heal. People underestimated your ability to heal yourself and to come out better. People underestimated your ability to preserve your youth, and by that I mean almost like I'm sure you look great, especially for your age or whatever age you are, but it's also something about to maintain that childlike wonder, that the purity of heart. People underestimated that about you. People misunderstood. Yeah, I could see that. People misunderstand you often, pile 2. People don't understand you. Some people, I think, feel you're very shy or timid, and because of that, they assume things about you that are usually wrong, and that's because they don't know or understand your energy. And for that reason, they don't understand how much you know and how much you see, and they don't understand how psychic you are, so they greatly misunderstand and underestimate you often. They underestimate definitely how much you know because they just don't get your energy. People underestimated you. People didn't think you'd be able to find your path in life and to be able to move forward after undergoing some great transformations in your life. This is such a weird one. Oh, it's not weird. It's actually it's pretty cool. People underestimate your ability to dress well. I'm also hearing something about rags to riches, but it's not necessarily that what the energy normally would be behind that, but it's almost like you can dress to the nines with not having to spend that much or something like that. It's like almost like people might have expected you to look or come across looking a certain way. Like maybe if you say you hit a rough patch and you didn't have much to work with, but you still like always look great, and people underestimated you because they wouldn't think you'd be able to pull something off or even pull off an outfit or something like that. And people underestimate your ability to tailor situations to suit your needs. Like situations that they figured would be much more harder, is somehow you're able to alter and tailor situations so that it's more suitable to work out in your favor. What is this? This might not be for everybody, but something about people underestimate your ability to dodge some kind of problems with authorities. I know that sounds weird, but it's almost like people are expecting you to have maybe, or could be a boss, but it's almost like people are expecting you to have some kind of fallout or problems with the law, the courts, the authorities, a boss, and you were able to like slide, like you got a pass or you did something, you were able to get yourself out of some kind of trouble, and people really underestimated you because they didn't think you'd be able to do it. People underestimate your survival skills. I'm looking at this Hermit right here from the Double Majors deck, and this is the second Hermit, and notice he doesn't have the light in the lamp. He's actually out in a very, there's no land here. It's not the regular Hermit card. It's very dry. It's desert. There's no water. Yet he's taken the fire from his lamp and started a fire to have heat and to be able to survive. People underestimate your ability to cloak yourself and go unseen. And so they don't know what you're doing. And for that reason, they assume a lot about you. Greatly underestimate your survival skills. People underestimated your ability to keep moving forward with your life while no one would know, during a time when nobody was showing you love, or when a specific person stopped showing you love. Oh, this is interesting. You got some really interesting energies here, pile 2. There are certain people who thought that you were going to be the prey, come to find out that you were the bait for something that was about to happen to them on a very large spiritual scale. People thought that they were going to be you are going to be the prey. Like, people have tried to prey on you, but they didn't realize that you were the bait because of something that was happening to them on a much larger spiritual scale, I'm hearing. It's weird. It's almost like spirit. I know this sounds so weird. Don't come for me. I'm just going to have to say what I hear. It's like spirit let these people think they were going to get you. This might not be for everyone, but for somebody, that spirit let people think they were going to get you, but you were the bait, not the prey. They were the ones who were about to get got. Interesting. Yeah, with the box and then the trap right here. Oh my God. People have tried to trap you. People have really underestimated you, pile two. People have really thought you would be somebody easy to get over on. People have underestimated your ability. People thought you would be somebody who would be easy to, at some point or another, this might not be all the time, but there's something that's happened here where somebody thought you would be easy to scam or to bamboozle or to shyst, and you were able to get out of certain traps. It's like you knew, somehow you always knew, like without them knowing that you knew it's like you knew what was going on without letting them know you knew what was going on, and you were able to get out of or get around or go through some kind of traps that have been sent for you. You've always been guided. I love that. Oh, and I'm seeing why here. Okay, we're going to get to that in a minute, but that is fascinating. A little bit scary, but fascinating. Okay, people underestimate your ability to pick up the pace, get up and move quick when need be. People underestimate your ability to actually move really fast and pick up and just get going and do something quickly when it needs to be. I think a lot of people thought that maybe you have a certain routine or a way of doing things and people expected you to always stick to that, and then out of nowhere you can pick up and do something different, and it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that, I kind of felt a little bit of that in part one too. Interesting. Yeah, people, and at the same time, people also underestimate your ability to take your time and do something thoroughly the correct way. So it's like almost like when you need to, you can pick up the pace and do something fast, but when you also need to, you will slow down and make sure something's done thoroughly and correctly. People also underestimated your gift of gab and your ability to talk your way into or out of things that you need for your own best interest. Like if you need to talk your way out, like say if somebody somehow tried to put you in a effed up situation, you're able to talk your way out of it because you have like the gift of gab. You've got a mouthpiece on you and you know how to use it. You know the right words to say and what to do and how to get out of situations. People underestimate your ability to see through illusions. I can tell people, there's something here where some people have tried you. Come to find out you wasn't the one, hop out too. People underestimate your ability to actually get what you want. You come out on top to get your wish fulfillments. People probably figured like that, they'll never get that, and then you get it. And people are like, wow, I didn't see that coming. Wow. People underestimate your ability to read between the lines. People underestimate your ability to hear what they're really saying without them even saying it. People underestimate your ability to, I heard, save your reputation. Interesting. People underestimate your ability to come out victoriously in situations that where it's feeling like maybe somebody has, it's like, maybe even as minute as like playing the game of like telephone, where something got lost in translation and there was maybe some misunderstandings about you and you were able to course correct that information so that the truth came out, something like that. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Pile 2. You have a fallen angel who protects you. You have a fallen angel who works with you. You have a energy, an entity. It is angelic, but it is one of the ones that would be considered fallen, who actually works with you and protects you. I'm hearing that this being actually is drawn to you because they like the way you think. They like that you think outside of the box. They like that you have actually a rebellious nature in the way you think because you don't conform to the social norms. That you actually have certain freedom of thought. That your thought patterns are different than others. That you have a different way of thinking. That you question the status quo. That you don't conform. that you have your own rebellious nature in that right, that you're not afraid to go against the grain, that you're not afraid to be true to yourself, and they are fond of that in you. And for that reason, they have chosen to protect you in certain situations where traps were sent from you, and that is where the guidance came from that led you out of certain traps. Very fascinating. Yeah, that Eight of Swords with that trap in that box. Yeah, people really thought they got in your head. At some point or another, there was some situation here that happened where people thought they fucked you, and you were able to get out of it. People underestimated how clear your conscience is. People thought that there was things or mistakes you made in your past that you wouldn't be able to forgive yourself for or move on with your life. And people underestimated your ability to heal and how clear your conscience is. People underestimated actually how much of a good person you are, and that you don't lose sleep at night because you know there's a reason, a rhyme and a reason for why you do what you do, whether they understand it or not. And so for that reason, you have a clear conscience because you know you do things in good faith. People underestimated your ability to know which direction. No, wait. People underestimated your ability to accept that something wasn't going to happen that you were expecting to happen, and to know what to expect to happen. I don't know, this is a hard one. Hold on. It's like something about your ship's not coming in the way you expected it, but that you are still able to move forward and make something happen. I think that's the best way I could translate that energy. Also, people underestimated your ability to see through a false offer. Maybe that has something to do with those traps up here, but it's almost like, you know, when somebody has ulterior motives, like, you know, if somebody in player energy comes your way and they think you're going to be easy to smooth talk, and, you know, that you'll be somebody easy to, like, oh, yeah, let's, like, just tell you what you want to hear so they can, maybe if they're trying to, you know, get with you or something, and that you wouldn't be able to see through, like, that they're just talking out the side of their neck, you were able to see through that and turn down offers because you knew they were no good. Yeah. Wow. Very fascinating, Pile 2. So this is what I have for you. This is how people underestimate you, Pile 2. Yeah, you've got some fierce protection around you, just so you know. Fierce. Okay, let me take it to Pile 3. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose this clear quartz rock crystal, this is your reading. How are you underestimated? And I just want to share, this is one of my most powerful crystals that I have. This one was given to me. It's gone down the line. It was given from, my grandmother had it, and then my mother had it, now I have it. And it was the grandmother that I get a lot of my psychic and intuitive abilities from. And so this is a very important one, and I've seen many things in this crystal that have come to pass. One of my most powerful crystals. It is one of the most important ones to me. So I just felt like I needed to share that with you. So this is a very important stone, very important crystal for me. So this must be a very important pile. Okay, so let's get right into it. Pile 3. How are you underestimated? So let's go. Let's see. Okay. We have nice. Oh. People underestimate you because they don't, it's like they don't expect you to be able to, it's not be able to, they don't expect you, it's something about that you don't leave anyone behind. It's something about being able to also get things done when you have no help. It's something about when people cut you off or turn their back on you, your ability to keep moving forward and still continue to be a loving and helpful person. And that is one of the ways you are underestimated. People also underestimate your ability to pick and choose your battles wisely, to know what to walk away from, and for good reason. People also underestimate your ability to live in your truth, to speak the truth, to see the truth, to hear the truth, to know the truth, to understand the truth, and to know when somebody is telling you the truth and when they're not. People underestimate your honesty. Ooh, this is interesting. The ocean in reverse. People underestimate your ability. Okay, so people underestimate your bravery. People, I think, expected you to be scared to go into the depths or into something deeper. Like people expected you to be scared in certain, or to be moving from a place in fear in certain situations where you know, just like they're showing me like with the ocean, that wanting to stay in the shallow waters, afraid to go into the deep, and it's like you're like, no, I'm a mermaid. Like I live in the deep. Like you're probably afraid to meet me in the deep. Like, you know, like I'm not scared of the dark. I'm not scared of the depths. That's actually where I live. I own the place. You're probably afraid to come meet me here. You know, it's something like that. Let's see, fire, hummingbird reverse. Wow, people underestimated you because they expected you to follow the crowd. People thought you wouldn't be able to think for yourself and move in and freely in any direction that you wanted to, that you would be a follower. And when you weren't, and that you maintained your, autonomy, or your ability to like think and speak for yourself and to go in any direction you wanted to, people underestimated you in that way. Ooh, okay, these two are separate, I feel. I'll come to them right now. People underestimated just how quick and agile your mind is. People underestimated how intelligent you are. People also, there's something here about discrimination, where I think there are some people who either thought that you were somebody who would be discriminating, or that you were somebody who was likely to stereotype people, or, you know, like judge people based off your first impression and not get to know them. And they underestimated you because you're much deeper than that, I can tell. And that you are somebody who actually does not discriminate, and you're somebody who doesn't go based off of stereotypes. And that also something about, I think they were expecting you to be okay with people maybe who were very discriminating, and that you weren't okay with that. And so I feel that you're somebody who's either called people out on that, or cut people off, or just been not okay with it. And people weren't expecting that. They underestimated you in that way, that you are not somebody who discriminates. Okay, now this one's very fascinating. And I kind of see it right there too. I just remember that card. We have Nagas. Pile 3, you sexy. Okay. People, so like the lovers you've had who have been with you underestimated like how good you are. Or how good it was going to be. Like it's like something about they weren't expecting that. Like afterwards, like, wow, blew my mind. I was not expecting that. I feel like there's people who probably get, what would you call it, sprung, or, you know, like, I think there's quite a few people that you blew their mind in the bedroom, and they were like, wow, that was amazing. Like, you know what I mean? To something, people underestimated how erotic and how sensual you are. What a great lover you are, pile 3. Ooh, you sexy. Okay, also, let's see. Wow, people underestimated how much integrity you have. I think that a lot of people expected you to be okay with a lot of BS that you were not okay with, because you have way too much integrity. Way too much. People underestimate your ability to change your mind and decide not to be okay. Like if people thought there was certain things that you would go along with that you didn't go along with, that you had the ability to think for yourself, change your mind, and decide on doing something differently. Or maybe there were certain things you agreed upon at some point, and then just after, you know, thinking about it, you're like, you know what, I'm not okay with that, and to change your mind. People also, what is this? Hold on. People thought that you expected, okay, there's certain people who thought that you expected yourself to, they thought some people might have thought you were holier than thou. Or they're like, oh, this person thinks that will never happen to them because they think they're too good. And like in certain situations where it's like you actually rolled with the punches, I feel. It's giving the feeling like you not only didn't think you were holier than thou, but you were like, no, I can handle situations like this. I've actually been through it many times. This is nothing new to me, and I'm gonna get through this. This isn't gonna break me. Like, I'm not immune to going through BS. I don't think I'm better than anyone. This happens to everyone, and I'll get through it like I always do. It's something to that nature. Nice. People people underestimated you because they thought that you would be willing to lower your standards. People thought that eventually you would lower your standards. People thought there's things that you would want so bad that eventually you would lower your standards and able to get it. Like maybe a certain person, a relationship, a connection, a situationship that wasn't going your way. They thought, well, eventually, if I keep pushing, they'll lower their standards and they'll accept the bare minimum, and you didn't. Good for you, pile 3. Yes. Okay. And also, people underestimated your people skills and your social skills. People thought that you, maybe they thought there was something different about you, where that you wouldn't be able to blend in with certain crowds or get along with certain groups or be accepted by certain people or groups or organizations or something like, just like maybe a community, that like friends. They're like, oh, no, they're too unique, weird, or different. Like, they'll never blend with that crowd. But yeah, I feel even if you are, say, like an introvert or something, that you have exceptional people skills, social skills, communication skills, and you know how to use them when you need to, and that you can actually get along with almost everybody, if not almost anybody, if not everybody. And so people underestimated you on that, your ability to connect with people. Ooh, this is very interesting. We have the Page of Swords, and it's from the Double Majors deck. And in this one, it's not, this person's trying to look, but they can't because all these birds are attacking them, so they can't see. And it's coming out in reverse. And yeah. Okay. I see it now. To the moon in reverse. Star reverse, sun upright. Oh. People underestimated your... Okay, so people who have tried to, say, put a specific narrative out there. Now, this could be about you or about other people, or like they're trying to sell a dream or sell a story, and you know it's not real. People underestimate your ability to let the truth be known, to let the truth of a situation or the truth of yourself or the truth come to light. Like you have, especially in this sun card, these are almost every single one of these in the double majors is the second double major where it's not the regular one. And so like in this sun card, this is normally in the sun card, you know, it's a child, sometimes on a horse, but at least it's a child out in the sun. This time it's a grown man. You're like, no. Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you the right way. Let me show you the real way. Let me show you how the big girls or the big boys do it, because you're doing it wrong. I'm here, you're doing it wrong. Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you the right way, because you're doing it wrong. Something to that nature. Things that people didn't want to be seen. Look at this moon card. It's not the regular moon. We have the second moon. The moon is hidden. It's not even like, you know, on the moon it's like something that's hidden but the light's going to shine. It's like people who are operating from their fears. Well, it's like deep dark in the subconscious. The moon is even hidden and it's reversed. It's like you have a way of revealing to people what they feared being seen or known. And here you come out like an adult, not living in the subconscious fears in the shadow, operating from the shadow like, no, let me show you how the grown-ups do it. Right over here. Take notes. I love it. And people underestimate you because they didn't think you would, I'm here, they didn't think you'd have the balls or the ability to see through them or see through situations or to stand up and bring certain things to light, and you did. Oh, this is interesting. People, I'm getting a couple different things off this. Some people might have underestimated your ability to get out of trouble. Maybe you had trouble with the law. Also, people underestimated your ability to stand up to certain authorities. People also might have underestimated your ability to... It's almost giving the feeling like when someone talks their way out of a ticket. Something like that. And now they're showing me, my guides are showing me a meme. Some of you guys might have probably seen it, like on Facebook. It's like the SpongeBob one, where it's like when people don't know you were a thug before you were a healer, and he's sitting there with a little sign that says, "Try me, beloved." Like, you know, people underestimated like your ability to loca to, and okay, maybe not everyone's from California, they may not know what that means, to get real crazy and real gangster, like, don't wake up the beast in me. I just look like this. You don't want to do that, because I am not all just flowers and walks in the park. If you want to bring that out of me, you can bring the old me out of retirement. I'm not afraid to go there if I have to. But I definitely don't feel you're someone who goes looking for trouble, but I feel you're not afraid to stand up 10 toes down when need be. Also, what is this? People underestimate your ability to love the unloved. And by that, I'm seeing a couple different things. They underestimate your ability to, it's like you will love the parts of the things that most people would not love, or the things in people that, like, you accept all of somebody, like the things that most people would maybe turn away from somebody, like, yeah, I don't know, that person's got too many problems going on. I got better options. But you're not somebody who's that surface level and superficial, and people underestimate that about you. People think, like, I think a lot of people figure you'd be like more superficial than you are, because I don't feel that you are at all. I feel that you're actually somebody who actually gives a lot of love and loves people when they're feeling really unlovable. People also underestimate your ability to heal from heartbreak. Oh, this goes back with the Nagas right here. Okay, people underestimate how good you are in the bedroom. Oh, you're all gonna make me blush. People underestimate how skilled and talented you are. I'll just leave it at that. Very. People also underestimate your ability to, what is this? Hold on. Send people packing, I'm hearing. To refuse to fight with people, to walk, yeah, I've seen it up there. To, your ability to, to turn people away, like when people are trying to fight, to turn it's like almost like giving almost like a return to sender, but not exactly that, but probably that too. But it's something about, no, it's like to make people direct their anger where it's goes. Like if somebody's coming at you the wrong way for the wrong reason, like, no, I'm not the one you're mad at. You're mad at yourself. You did this. Quit taking it out on me. And people, I think, underestimate your ability to see that and call it out. People also underestimate your ability to take control of a situation. People underestimated your ability to meet people where they're at. I'm hearing, I left them right where they had me fucked up. like that's where you are. I left you right where you had me fucked up. Like, it's something about that. People also underestimate your ability to cut off certain friends who needed to go. Page of Swords in reverse again. Something about, what is this? Something about, let's give them something to talk about? What is this? It's okay, but it's like, if people want to watch, I'll give them a show. Or it's like, okay, you're looking, I'll give you something to look at. Something about that here, where it's like, not that you're trying to entertain people, but it's like, if you're gonna go looking, I'll show you something that you're looking for. I don't know. That's a weird one. I'll let that translate for. I don't know if that's for everybody, but oh, now I see it next to the hangman. Okay, your ability to show people what they don't want to see, as in the truth, to force people to see the truth that they're trying not to look at. The things that people are refusing to see, you have the ability to make people see the truth that they're refusing to see. So it's also, and they're showing me, why are they showing me these memes right now? There's like another meme where it's like, something about my spirit guides showing me how I messed up or something, but it's the guy standing behind the other guy and he's like opening his eyes like real big, like, look, you know? Something about like you showing people what they're refusing to look at. Like, no, this is the truth, look. You want to look at something? You want to be looking at everybody else? Look at yourself, and showing people the truth of a situation or themselves that they refuse to see. People also underestimate how enlightened you are. People underestimate your great sense of direction, to always know which way to go. People underestimated your ability to stay in the house so much. I have somebody here who's an introvert. Not all of you. People underestimate your ability to stay like to yourself for as long as you do, like to stay indoors. Somebody here does that, at least a lot of you do. People underestimate your tunnel vision, that when you get laser focused on something when you want to get it done. And also people underestimate a new beginning that you're having or getting ready to have, and how people didn't think you were going to get this beautiful new beginning, and that you're getting it and people know it, and they underestimated you because they didn't think you'd get it. Wow, I love this. Okay, great. This is fascinating energies right here, pile 3. I love this. You sexy beast. Okay, I'm going to take it to pile 4. Hi, pile 4. If you chose the citrine, pile 4, this is your reading. How are you underestimated? So let's get right into it. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. People underestimate your ability to come through. Like when they need you. Like a lot of people, I feel, have been in situations where they needed help and they didn't know who to ask, and they're like, man, nobody's gonna come through for me. Like nobody ever helps me. And then they call you and like they ask for help, and you actually come through, and they're like, man, I didn't expect that. Like no one ever comes through for me, but you come through, pile 4. People underestimate you on that. Like I think you shock some people. Like, wow, you're actually somebody I can count on. You know? Okay. Let's see. Oh. Pile 4, you're smart. Okay, the riddle to gnosis. Wow. People underestimate how smart you are. There's, I feel, been some complex situations where people actually have probably made it more complicated than it needed to be, and I think you see right through things that people somehow tend to miss, where it's kind of like, okay, this is like, what they're showing me here is like, say somebody's got a string or a rope and they tie it in this real complex knot, and they're like, I bet nobody can figure out how to untie this knot. And everyone's like looking at it like, well, maybe if you go up over here, or you pull this piece down here, and you just come through and you're like, you pull the string, you're like, you just pull the string and the whole thing unravels. You're like, it's not that hard, you guys. It's not that complicated. Like you see right through things that most people would find complex, and they're like, how did you know that? And you're like, really simple. Like it's probably, I think people underestimate just how quick-witted you are, how smart you are, how easily you see through things, like the most quick and efficient way to do something, and they underestimate you because they don't think that you would be as quick as you are, if that makes sense. Also with gnosis, people underestimate how experienced you are. Because when I see gnosis is knowledge. But the thing about gnosis isn't just a knowledge that someone has because they read about it, which that reading is great, and reading is very important, so it's a great way of learning, but there's also like that hands-on learning where you actually know from experience, and I feel that's how you get that true gnosis, that understanding, like you really truly understand the true nature of something and how it works, and you having the gnosis of things and having gnosis, you have deep wisdom, deep knowledge, and someone who's very experienced. And people, so I'm getting that people really underestimate how experienced you are. Mountain. Wow. You found your way through, and people underestimate your ability to get through trials and tribulations, things that are really hard, hurdles that most people feel like, man, look at that mountain, they'll never be able to get over that. But in this, you see in this picture, like, this person, they're at the top of the mountain, but they're not all the way at the top. What they've done is it looks like they've like actually like dug a tunnel through it, like, and got to the other side because they made a tunnel or a cave that went all the way through. So you'll find a way to get to the other side. You're like, okay, yeah, that is an impossible mountain to get over. Nobody can get over it. But I'm going to get to the other side, and I'm going to make a way. So people underestimate your ability to make a way, to find, like, where there isn't a way to make one, to get through something. Love it. Okay, we have moth to the oyster in reverse. Hold up. You know, I have seen this energy, and I think 2 other piles, something very similar where, okay, like, you know, like say when there's a lamp, and so like a moth is going to come, but a lot of times people will see moths, you know, and they'll see it and they'll, oh, a bug, and they swat it. So it's, I'm being shown like a scenario where like somebody like sets the lamp, you know, like, you know how they even have like those bug lamps and like things fly to it at nighttime? It's like you don't fall for the trap. Because like, see the oyster, how it would close on it? Like, it's a trap. Like, you don't get stuck in traps because you know it's like, man, that looks too good to be true. It's a trap. Don't go there. that's a trap. That's like, you know, someone's bait. It's bait. Like, you don't bite. People underestimate your ability to not bite the bait. So it's like when somebody's baiting you and trying to get you to do something, or thinking you're going to go for the okie doke or go for something, you see right through it. And so people underestimate you because they underestimate your ability to not bite the bait. Ooh, you are smart. I can tell this is a very smart pile. People underestimate your ability, people underestimate how much you know yourself. You know yourself very well. You know what you're capable of, you know what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, and you know what you bring to the table. And for that reason, I think a lot of other people don't have as much maybe self-knowledge as you have with yourself. Like, it feels to me like you're very experienced, obviously, and somebody who knows themselves very well. So it's like, you know yourself when you're going into a situation, what you're getting into, what you're willing to give, what you're not. Not a lot of people have that. And so people underestimate how much you know yourself. And so it's like you're able to operate on a different level than other people because you know yourself very well. Also, with this golden ratio, people underestimate your ability to spot out patterns. It's giving, there's a saying, or I keep giving me different Facebook sayings and memes. What is it, like, I don't always trust words, I don't always trust actions, but I trust patterns. You spot patterns out. Like, you know, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, fuck the duck. But if it doesn't walk like a duck and it doesn't talk like a duck, except for on Thursdays, you know, on Thursday, fucker's gonna be a duck, because you know the patterns. It's like people underestimate your ability to spot out a pattern, and that way, for that, and with that, know what someone's gonna do. And they don't think you'll be able to predict that they're gonna do something, but you know the pattern, you see it, you spot it out. People underestimate that in you. Also, people underestimate your ability to see what's truly going on with them. Like, when somebody is bothered and they're like, you could tell like something's bubbling underneath the surface, like something's going on with them and they're not talking about it, and they think you wouldn't be able to tell, like, you know, and they underestimate your ability to see right through them and know what's really going on. Once again, with that gnosis and that knowledge, man, you be knowing, you know things, you know a lot. I feel you've done a lot of you know, whether it's studies, research, but I feel that you're somebody who's holds a extreme amount of knowledge and wisdom, and most people wouldn't know. Like, most people wouldn't think you know the amount of things that you know and have had experienced the amount of things that you've experienced. And that's where I think a lot too of your self-knowledge comes from, is because from all the experiences you've had, you know. This union, it's giving me duality, it's giving me polarities, it's giving me opposites, it's giving me union of opposites, it's giving me integration. Oh, wow. So that comes a lot too with that explains the self-knowledge. You're somebody who's it feels like you're integrated. You're somebody who's done the shadow work. It's even possibly giving, like, I don't know, for some of you who've like maybe studied some psychology here, but like individuation. Like, you're somebody who's gone down the path of individuation, of self-realization, of self-actualization, of somebody who has truly gone within and looked deep within themselves to know and understand themselves. And so you've had this union of opposites, this union of, it's like, as they might say, even like the alchemical marriage, like brought the polarities together. And where, so now, yeah, that would explain why you have so much self-knowledge and you know yourself so well. It's like you don't deny any parts of yourself. You don't deny, like, if the mistakes you've made in the past, it's like you learn from them and you own them, and you don't suppress it or repress it, and you don't deny certain aspects of yourself. You're like, yeah, no, that was me, I did that, and that is part of who I am, but it's made me who I am today, and I'm okay with that. And people underestimate that of you because I think they feel maybe there's things, we've all made mistakes, you know, but I feel like maybe there's things that tap into you in your past, or mistakes you've made, or things you've gone through that they feel that you'd be embarrassed or ashamed of, and you're not. It's like you own all of who you are, and for that they underestimate you. It's a very powerful place to be, by the way, Palfor. This is interesting. I hear people underestimate your ability to take back what's rightfully yours. People underestimate your ability to steal the spotlight. What? Something about maybe, I don't know, maybe some of you have had friends who are so used to getting a lot of attention, and so they're just expect it maybe sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. you know, but maybe they expect, like, when you go out, maybe people pay attention to you and they feel like, oh, I didn't expect you were going to get that much attention. It's like, well, you underestimated me. People love me too. Something like that. I don't know. Also, people underestimate your ability to spot a thief and to stop people from stealing from you, to know what somebody's true intentions are, to see right through them, and to be able to protect what is rightfully yours and to keep it. What is this? Oh, wait a minute. Oh. People underestimate your ability to manifest something different, a different ending. To change destiny? People underestimate your ability to change the outcome in your favor. People underestimate your ability. I'm channeling this energy as I'm seeing it and it's coming in. It's quite fascinating here. People underestimate your ability to walk away from something without closure because you know what's going to happen. It's like you've seen this video before and you know how it ends. Even though you might not have been in that situation with that specific person, it's like you've been there before, or maybe you're even like a prophet or a seer, but it's like you see what's going to happen, so you know how to change certain details of a situation. Like it's like to set off the patterns, to set off a certain pattern so that something plays out in a different way, so that it doesn't end with an explosion or an accident. It's like you know how to leave the scene before something bad happens. It's like you know how to change a specific detail of something so that it doesn't play out the way it would, so that to prevent an accident or a crisis from happening. What is this? This is really fascinating. It's like changing a small detail of reality so that the whole outcome plays out like a butterfly effect or a domino effect of something completely different. You know, like how, you know, like I'm sure you guys have heard of like the butterfly effect or the domino effect, where it's like, but you know how to like change one small detail because you can see how that pattern's going to play out and what that would mean. So instead of like doing one thing, you just do one other small little thing so that the whole outcome is completely different, to prevent some kind of crisis, trauma, or accident from happening. And nobody would expect that of you, and that's greatly how they underestimate you. Wow, I have never channeled something like that before. That is fascinating. I love that. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I like that too. So when people who are in player energy, F-boys, F-girls, come your way, they underestimate your ability to mirror their energy right back to them, or to show them a reflection of themselves. It's not necessarily that you're going to play the game with them, but you can almost mirror or show the reflection of their wounds to them that causes them to act the way they do, so that it could trigger them into healing, something of that nature. And people underestimate your ability to outplay the player. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah. Love it. People underestimate your ability to cut ties in order to protect yourself. People, I think, feel there are certain people who you would never want to break, like lose a connection or a tie with, because they felt maybe you were too attached or or like maybe you had too deep of feelings, and they underestimate your ability to cut ties and cut connections and cut cords with people in order to protect yourself, to heal yourself. People underestimate your ability to turn down opportunities because you're able to see when they're too good to be true. People underestimate your ability to get them back. For good and for bad. It's also, they're kind of showing me a scenario where maybe, like, say if you're like, maybe you left your wallet at home and you're like, hey, and you tell somebody, can I borrow $20? And they're like, yeah, sure. And in their mind, they're like, no one ever, they're not going to pay me back. No one ever remembers. And the next day you call them up and pay them back, and they're like, man, I didn't think you were going to come through. Like, nobody ever remembers to come pay me back. Like, it was just $20. I was just going to let you have it. And you're like, no. My word is bond. And they're like, wow, I underestimated you. I didn't think you were that stand-up of a person. Like, not that they looked down on you, but they weren't expecting it. They kind of were like, and I guess I underestimated you. I guess you're more solid than I thought, you know? Oh, look at that. People underestimate your research. It's almost like I'm getting your detective skills. Like, you're the person, I feel, who will deep dive and look and deeply research into a topic or study a situation or topic or circumstance until you find out the truth. Like, where most people were like, man, I'm gonna figure it out, and they like do a little research and they're like, I don't know, I thought I could figure this out, but, or they think they know. You're the person who will go above and beyond. Like, you're like, no. You only read the first 5 pages of the chapter. I read the book. I figured it out. This is what's going on. Or, you know, like, you'll deeply look into a situation. Like, people underestimate your ability to find everything out. They underestimate your detective skills, your ability to find some shit out. Because until you find the illumination, it's like you will put something on hold and deep dive into something until you find out what it is you want to know. Like, if someone's going to find out, you're going to figure it out. Nice. I love it. People underestimate your ability to metamorphose into something completely different, like to leave one situation that was no longer working for you, and it's almost like shapeshift or metamorphose into a completely different person to be able to match a different frequency for a new timeline or a new lifestyle. Like, you will completely change everything. It's giving this, I don't know the phrase, you know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so I think you're somebody who deeply understands that, well, you know, if I want a whole change, I want something completely whole new, can't just make half changes or change just little things. Like, if you want, you know how to make all the changes that are necessary in order to go after what you want, and you're willing to do that. And people underestimate that about you. I think they underestimate your ability to metamorphose into something completely different than what you used to be. People underestimate your ability to see deeply through veiled situations where there's layers and layers of illusions, or veils and veils, or like no, I'd be showing me Shrek, like ogres. Ogres are like onions. They have layers. Like, to see through the layers of something to get down to the truth. You know what I mean? Like, you can see, like, okay, that's just one layer of the situation, but let's keep peeling this back, and then we'll get to the center. You know, something like about that, so that you can see the truth, the true truth. Like, I feel this is my truth seekers. You guys are truth seekers, I feel. Venus! I love you, Mommy. I'm almost done, my love. Mommy's coming, mi amor. Mama. Okay. And also, people underestimate your ability to see through them when they're playing different roles. Like, what is that other phrase? You know, if someone's playing a role, eventually they'll forget their lines. Well, you could tell when somebody's trying to play different roles, and you can see right through their mask. And people underestimate your ability to see exactly when they're just playing a role or when they're being real. So, fascinating energy. There was definitely some fascinating things here that I hadn't really, I think, picked up on in a reading before, and I really, very fascinating. So that's what I have for you today, Pile 4. I hope you feel called to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in another reading.